Yo, what's up guys? My name is Holly and welcome back to Chronicle. This is the home where some of my favourite people and I will get together, tell some awesome stories and hopefully take you guys along for the ride with us. On today's episode, we're going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So if you don't know what that is by now, it's about time you get to know. And we have the perfect place for you to do so right here at Chronicle. We're going to be playing in the world of Cthulhu today, which is a homebrew world of my own creation. Can we see Lockie in the side? No. Oh.
We're not allowed to be in it.
Yes, that's correct.
You've been banned. We can see your elbow.
We're going to be playing in the world of Cthulhu tonight, which is a homebrew world of my own creation. So if you'd like to catch up on anything that you might have missed, I mean, we've had 52 sessions in this world so far. 50-ish. Around 50. Episodes. 53. Yeah, a couple of episodes now. So if you'd like to catch up on all of the lore, the inter-party relations, them getting killed quite a lot, almost, not quite, but maybe.
Traumatized, yes.
Yeah, traumatized, yeah. So if you'd like to see what we've been getting up to in this world so far, please go and check out the link down below to our YouTube, where we have all of our archive videos over there. We also have Lockie's campaign over there as well, Blissful Oblivion, set in the homebrew world of Planthera that he created. We also have Xander's campaign that's split into 2 arcs at the moment. The first one is... What's the name for the first one? Infrasound, and then we have Slippery When Wet. I don't know where the name came from, but I guess we'll find out.
I mean, I hope so. There's a chance you guys... It's looking more and more like it was going in the complete opposite direction. So
I wonder how that feels.
Damn.
Set in the world of Arbonne though, so please do go and check that out as well. We also have a lot of one-shots over there, and we have a lot of chaos, a lot of fun. It's great. Please go and check those out as well. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, tonight we don't have Jack and Ash with us, unfortunately. They had to go to a musical.
Boo.
Is that right? Musical?
Yeah. Musical.
Had to go to a musical, so hopefully that's good.
We miss you.
We do. We miss them, and there's going to be no crying, no stress this episode, so they're missing out.
Yeah, that's true.
The next episode.
I'll just bring a sack of bricks with her and just going to be throwing them.
Only joking, we'll see how it goes.
I like that.
We'll see what happens.
I
Yeah, I don't think I've missed anything.
Follow all of our stuff.
Yeah, we have the Instagram, the TikTok. I'm an Instagram Chronicle Instagram enjoyer. I think it's great. We've got lots of cool art over there.
We do.
On Instagram, Discord as well. Yes, there's a Discord that I didn't know about last week, but I also forgot about it this week, so I don't think I'm doing any better.
Cassie actually posted a screenshot earlier this week of a moment where you look so maliciously, enjoyably evil as everyone else cries at the table. So if you get onto the Discord at some point...
I need to get onto the Discord.
It's quite good.
I need to get onto the... Has everybody seen this except me?
I only saw it when I got here.
Dog!
Rat boy. Man, just be quiet and stop barking from outside so the neighbors don't come
no, I have to... I will get onto the Discord, but you guys should as well also get onto the Discord.
You're already on the Discord.
I am on the Discord, but you guys should join it. It's great. Hello?
Dogpile.
Hello?
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know.
Dogpile.
Chaos. I know, we all love me. Listen.
We do all love Holly. This is a fact.
The horse. I love the horse. Yeah, I don't think I've forgotten it. Oh, shit, I just saw how many... Oh yeah, Patreon. I think I forgot to say that last week. We have a Patreon link as well down below. The gang have also been doing some streams on Sundays, playing some Dead by Daylight.
Why?
That's the second time you've done that!
Okay,
I need to
yeah.
get you back
Lucky
for that.
finds it scary. I'm there to guide him.
Great.
And
Well,
the
there you
man
go.
that stalks me in
If
the
you-
bushes.
If you'd like to catch up on what you guys have missed there, check in on the Sunday streams. It's at 8, our usual time. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
8.
I have a lot going on, everyone.
Yeah,
Listen,
Hayden and Aiden.
we're hating at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock we ride.
Yep.
There we go.
What are we hating, guys?
The
I mean, what's not to hate on?
I'll do the offensive, but I'm not going to.
Excuse me?
I don't know what to say.
No, not at you. Just I don't know, someone.
Anyway. Anyway, I think that's everything that we've got to say. For today's prologue, I was just mentioning, we're going to do a little bit of... it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same as I have been doing for the past little bit with, like, little stories and things like that. And then last week I had a big... quite a big story, dropped a lot of lore. This time, we are still going to be dropping lore, but it's going to be more informative. So please bear with me while I go through it. And we'll see how it goes. Just a little bit of...
You're salt baying the law.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, please, everyone, listen to my lore.
Listen to it now.
Listen right now.
I'm ready.
Alright. On the busy streets of Rumbellium, weaving in between laneways and bustling market stalls, the associates scan the crowd with eagle-eyed precision, singling out their prey. Famed for its strength as a point of magical concentration, Rumbellium is teeming with life and magic, making it the meeting point for various weary travellers, charismatic merchants, voracious scholars, and affluent nobles. The port city also possesses numerous trade routes both on land and over sea, which ensures a high presence of lost souls that seek to find themselves through this elaborate city of opportunity. As the capital city of the Prussian Empire, Rumbellium also makes a name for itself as a city with large wealth differentials, making it the perfect place for exploitation of lost souls by opportunists. Operating out of these busy streets, many organizations seek to indoctrinate these lost souls or bring them into the fold, promising to absolve them of their grievances and end their struggles. Utilizing a facade of a functioning and prosperous potion vendor and apothecary, the Faith Tonic, a group known as the Hoax Associates. The Faith Tonic and a group known as the Hoax Gambit appraises the citizens of Rumbellium. Commonly known by their moniker, the Associates, this group targets the lost and helpless demographics within this city by luring them in through the use of this storefront. Despite its sinister motives, the Faith Tonic is viewed by the majority of Rumbellium, including its authority figures, as a legitimate and helpful business. Beneath this facade, however, the Hoax Gambit functions as a cult sector, worshipping the god of trickery, mischief, and chaos, Shiva.
Wow.
The exact location of their center of operations is unknown by all except its members. However, it is commonly believed by those investigating the operation and seeking to dismantle it that this base is located beneath the store itself. Never acting in an overt manner as they attempt to seduce and entice others into joining their ranks, the associates are quickly growing in number. In order to subtly identify one another amongst the masses of the city in which they prey upon the innocent, lost souls that inhabit its streets, the Hoax Gambit are all required to possess a particular set of tattoos. One visible to the world at all times, frequently located on the hands or necks of members, and another that denotes their rank within the associates, that can be either visible or concealed, but able to be revealed to another member if asked. Separated into tiers of organization, the cult elevates its high priestess to the status of the ultimate authority within the Hoax Gambit, acting as a symbol for not only their blind worship of this controversial deity. The high priestess is also a symbol of the anonymity and mystique that this organization utilizes as its modus operandi. The exact identity of the high priestess is unknown to even its senior members, despite the fact that all members of the group are expected to work within the storefront to provide a legitimate reason for employment. It is believed that the High Priestess is the mouthpiece of Chivoth, and that the actions and decisions she makes are those that reflect Chivoth's direct wishes. Draped in a refined cloak of red silk and a shroud of shifting pitch black that appears endless when gazed into for a long period of time, the High Priestess obscures any and all visible identifiers from her subjects. Armed with a horned mask that covers half of her face, and wrapped in countless chains and ornaments befitting of her status, the High Priestess possesses a calm but jaded and deadly presence. But our story for the evening.
Continues
so-
onwards.
That's so
What?
crazy.
That was good.
That's so crazy.
Juicy. That's
Whoa, that was
That's so crazy, guys.
so
Wow,
crazy.
a cult.
Such
Why-
Are you
a-
gonna start getting character
Rebellion?
load drops?
Huh?
You're gonna start getting character load drops.
Who knows?
This
It's
is
just
not
what I felt
character
like.
development.
That's
and then-
fun.
what's wrong
I like
with
that.
that?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't think it's character load. What character would have anything to achieve
This,
that?
is, this could be completely unrelated content.
Good.
You're just fleshing out the world. Really.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just
Player's
giving you guys
reaction
some
really sold
information.
it big unrelated.
Yeah, really.
It might not even be important.
A
I
cult
could
of
be
Tuvok?
gaslighting you guys right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But our story for the evening begins thousands and thousands of miles away, up high, in the jagged peaks of the Dawnvale. Wind howls through the trees, whipping up flurries of snow and minuscule shards of ice in its wake. The dense fog that had settled in throughout the day now creeps its way into nooks and crannies, slipping into the cracks between boulders and slabs of ice. Over Cathora's jagged peaks, the moons themselves are only visible, briefly through the blanket of fog that drapes itself over the realm. Nestled in between two heavy stone pillars, a circular cutout has been made in the rough stone, almost like the opening of a bottle. The opening itself is sheltered as much as possible from the fierce wind and devastatingly dropping temperatures, and any other elements that might seek to make its way within. Inside, a group of ragtag adventurers find themselves huddled together around a slowly dying fire. Cold wind rips into their abode for the evening, intermittently collecting in the corners of the room before being chased away by the heat of steadily warming bodies and flickering firelight. Feeling their anxiety ebb away slightly as they find themselves coming to consciousness after a night of restless but otherwise undisturbed sleep. They're named. What would you guys like to do today? Start of a new day.
Cry again.
Onwards.
I'd be sleeping on top of Dilbert because I imagine they're still emitting like a warmth.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Did
I'm, just like,
Dilbert make another fire?
No, we actually created a fire.
Oh, okay.
I'm still sleeping on Dilbert.
This week we burnt brush, and then I've got 5 days worth of firewood now.
Oh yeah, did you give me some?
Well, yeah, you guys can have some.
I think you gave me some.
It was spread amongst the party, but I just wrote it down all in
Okay.
my inventory. But if you want some, I can remove one from
I
my
mean,
inventory.
if you need help carrying it, I can carry some stuff for you.
I'm still carrying it fine.
Okay.
Got rid of something.
That's
that was
fine. That's all
weighing
good.
me down.
Did we make much progress in our journey towards where were we going to find?
Just do
A temple.
Just a
I thought-
casual temple.
Casual temple.
we-
And killing a
the-
giant centipede thing.
Those things, yeah.
Yes, that's on the way if we're lucky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we're still a weekish out.
A giant centipede.
The giants.
Giant centipede, very fun.
I look forward to it.
From where we
What's
are
up?
in our cave, we can see the back of the cave, right?
Yeah, it's relatively small. So it is circular. It's almost like somebody's just made a perfect sphere within this space.
Well, we found like all those crates and coats sitting in this little spot, didn't we? Yeah, so someone must have carved it out to wait out a storm, presumably.
Well, is there an investigation check I could do to try and discern a history?
You could do a history check if you'd like to.
Like looking for marks and trying to Sherlock my way through discovering what's up with this cave.
You can roll an investigation check, but there's very little that's visible beyond what you've already seen.
Cool. Cool.
There's no cave paintings or anything.
There's nothing interesting that brings...
You can roll an investigation check and see if you find anything else. But
Yeah. Oh. Nat 20. Nice. For 22 in total.
I'll say with a 22 in total, you can just barely make out.
Throwing my dice.
Right. A 22. With a 22, there's no markings or anything necessarily on the floor, on the cave walls or anything like that. You did see a bed of what looked to be like dried brush and hay that you've since burned, I'm assuming. And you did find the crates as well with countless amounts of winter clothing. Some of it, I mean, I'm assuming you guys are taking that, so some of it doesn't fit exactly, but as soon as you put it on, it immediately feels of a better quality than the lost and found.
What do you mean the
clothes that
friend's bright pink winter coat wasn't good quality?
L.
Holy
That one actually is pretty warm.
Ow.
I will say though, with a 22 for an at 20, you do find that there is a small gem that's kind of tucked into the very corner, like behind almost a cutout panel, in one of the crates. You're not too sure what this kind of... It's roughly cut, so it's not that big. I'd say it's probably like maybe that big.
Yeah.
But it does seem to have an odd quality to it that's like... It's shimmering constantly as it catches the firelight. And there seem to be little specks within it. Almost like it's an endless depth
Well,
within.
I'll pick it up and I'll take it across and I'll be like, hey, A9, I found this just then. Could you at least give it a once-over for me?
Sorry,
Sorry, were you
what?
not awake yet?
No, I was. Oh, you know, I don't think you know.
Weird confusion. Okay. Do you sleep? You sleep, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that because you're restless or because you don't sleep like a normal humanoid?
What?
Could you look at this gem for me?
I'll look at the gem.
Roll... It's a good question. You can roll either an intelligence check for me or a nature check.
Okay. I'm always so unprepared. My intelligence is what plus the...
Your D&D Beyond go. You had it open before.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
What am I rolling? I'm rolling intelligence, I think.
Or nature, up to you. Depends on what specifically you want to know about the gem.
Can I roll
Nature would
both?
tell you what type it is. Or like close to what kind. Whereas intelligence would give you more of whether or not it has any magical properties or any properties for things that you think you might have seen it used before.
I could go with intelligence.
Please.
Please.
I mean, it's cool what type of gem it is, but like, that's a ruby. I'm like, oh, okay. Cool.
I think it's a 13.
Okay. And it's your intelligence check.
This is intelligence, yeah.
You think that this has a very faint magical property. It's impossible to discern what it is just from a 13, and just from your once over. But you think it could be used for various different rituals, perhaps like as a focus even, if enough effort was put into it. It's kind of an interesting gem, unlike anything you've seen before.
I mean, it's a little bit special. I mean, it's definitely got a lot of magical power in it, but I don't think it's got any immediate use.
Did you discern anything about it aside from that? No.
Pretty shiny.
I mean, thanks for the effort. No, I appreciate it. How are you feeling?
I'm okay.
Not stressed at all about yesterday?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you nearly did die yesterday, so I think June's just checking in on you.
A little, yeah.
And it does not look okay.
Aww.
And it's depressed.
Yeah, all three of you. Very brave, but stupid?
What? I was retreating.
Yeah, but I don't know how you did. Does anyone want to explain why the dragon just flew away? By the way,
Did you not see like the massive fluor?
I was running.
Oh.
I was scared.
Undead creatures are repelled by divinity.
Man, I really need to get invested in this god stuff.
Honestly, it feels like we barely do anything for ourselves these days.
I'm glad none of you are dead, because that thing... I don't know what that was. Hey, Dilbert, I thought dragons were meant to be cool.
Dragons are cool.
There you go.
That one was, like, mean, evil, and dead.
Gilbert looks a bit sad and sullen
Oh.
at the fact that this dragon obviously wasn't what he expected it to be.
Oh, everyone's so sad.
You want some holy texts? Getting that good stuff.
Is it just about Loran?
Honestly, Krugar, don't save your time. Krugar, one day you'll grow up in strength and you'll be a larger, more powerful person, and you'll be able to do stuff on your own. That god stuff, it's a crutch, I tell you. It's
Don't
gonna,
have a magical weapon.
and that's you, buddy. If you lean on gods, you've barely any control of your own anymore.
I just look at the amulet that Yugrisa gave me in our fight, and I'm just like, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, technically, my spell casting is also due to my own hard work.
Yeah.
I spent 2 decades studying.
Yeah, and Luron turned up yesterday and told the dragon to go away.
But to be fair,
Says
I think
someone that casts
Loran.
Eldritch Blast.
Yes!
Says someone that casts Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, well,
They're suckling the teat of an undead monstrosity, and I'm just like, yeah, the moon guy came and helped me.
To be fair, without
Hypocrisy.
Abelard, I don't think Loran would have showed up. So
Yeah, that's true.
you got a god literally watching over you, and that's very helpful.
that's like the
If you-
fourth one.
If you can thank Loran for us, that'd be wonderful.
I already did. I do in prayers every night.
Thank you, because that thing was scary. Did you see how big it was? Its wings were like that. Just my tiny arms going. Whoop. It was massive. It was so huge, man.
Big.
There was like 20 of me all stacked up high.
Damn.
Maybe.
I one time saw this
Definitely
wall.
more, because I'm like 2 foot. Yeah, definitely more.
Not the fucking wall again.
The wall.
Okay.
Well,
What kind? Do any of these coats fit small folk? Like
Some of them, yeah, you assume are either for smaller individuals or for children.
like
Um,
for a
With
Kenda,
dinosaurs on it.
kobold, and a halfling. Any
Yeah,
of
I'd
those
say
sizes?
they're pretty small even for a halfling. So some of them are like pretty baggy.
Yeah, I have to get most of my stuff custom made.
And it's same goes kind of for Dilbert as well.
Hmm.
I think Val shouldn't have any trouble necessarily.
No, yeah, you're like
fitting into it.
You're like a normal small person size.
Yeah. So they are a bit like they're a bit dusty, and there's like a fine layer of snow on top of most of it, but the inside seems to be a really warm, almost like it's not quite sheep, but it seems very like tailored and built for these particular circumstances.
Holly, I was meaning to ask, do I produce like any sort of body heat?
I'd say probably not, but it doesn't bother you necessarily.
How does that work with wearing a jacket then? Because there's like no heat to trap and to keep me warm. Do jackets even work very well?
I'd say you're not as affected by temperatures. It's more just that it's kind of uncomfortable for you when snow gets into like
Oh,
the
yeah,
cracks in
okay.
your armor plates. So
Cool.
this is like more of a protective thing.
Really
Cool.
counts
Makes
the
sense.
thermodynamics.
Are there any?
Try me, bitch.
Is there any like embroidery or symbols on these coats that represent like a faction, a group of people, or anything like that, or just standard coats?
You can roll an investigation check for me. There's almost like a tag sewn in to the coat. With a 4, it's completely swallowed for you by the wool that lines the jacket. So you can't make out any discernible shape or anything like that.
It's got no name, so I guess finders keepers, right? I'll put the
I
new
really
coat.
hope that's the case. We set fires with our beds.
I'm gonna put the new coat over my old coat that I'm still wearing, so I'm extra snug.
Sure.
Do I see any, like old? It's probably impossible to tell now, but old footprints that aren't.
With the blizzards we've been having over the last 2 days.
I'm gonna say June's already canvassed the place pretty well. You didn't notice any footsteps or anything when you came in.
Cool.
And there didn't seem to be any signs necessarily of somebody who was last here, other than like a patch where there was a dip slightly in the ground that you assume fire was made there. But it's been long since covered by the winds that have been whipping into this stone cave and kind of covering it and eroding away at it. So you assume whoever was here last was here quite a while ago.
I mean, for all we know, they're probably just eaten by the dragon.
Yeah.
That's the thing. With a dead thing like that, does it have a stomach? Does it need to eat? And if it does eat, where does it go?
Mostly yesterday, it seemed pretty territorial. I don't think it was.
It was a very how bony was it?
Yes.
Could you see through its ribcage?
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't need to eat. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, like Kruger just contemplates this question for a while. It's like, does it eat? Does it
Would I know anything?
You can roll a
Bone
Bone line!
Bone line!
I just heard bone. I'm like,
you can roll a nature check for me.
and they just,
Gotta get down on that bone.
Val loves to burn.
it's shocking. It's
Val helps
an
to
11.
An 11
Oh no.
Did you plus an
It's
extra?
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
It's 6 plus 4.
with an 11. You know that sometimes creatures have been reanimated by necromantic means, and it's not necessarily. It's certainly unusual to see an undead creature, especially one of this size. And it seemed as if this was decayed enough for it to have been reanimated for multiple years, probably quite a while. So you assume that this wasn't a recent thing. Generally, when creatures are reanimated, it depends on the severity of their wounds or their injuries, but whatever state their corpse is in when they are reanimated, that's kind of what they take on. And then over time, the longer that they're reanimated for, the more that kind of is eaten away at until they're pretty much just skeleton, if there is skeleton, or if it's something that's more spectral, then that also kind of changes it a little bit, but not necessarily your area of expertise. They usually deal with the physical creatures that have been reanimated, and that's,
Okay.
I'd say, with an 11 as much as you know.
So, the dragon we saw yesterday,
Mhm.
is that was it mostly bone or was it like flesh?
There was some decaying flesh as well, clinging
okay.
to it. It was mostly bone visible to you. You assume that, A, this has been alive for quite a bit in its undead state. And it would have taken a lot of power and magic to have reanimated something of this size.
Okay, so I guess I sort of realised that. No, like, yeah, I've studied these before, or encountered some.
Big bone guy.
Big bones.
I do know that it was reanimated a few years ago.
Oh.
It's not
Like-
recent.
Like, are we talking 10 or are we talking like 100?
How long
No,
ago
like-
did we get these coats? How old do we think these coats are?
It really depends on the environment that they're in as to like decaying rates are kind of
Depends if you're in
It
a
de-
desert or...
Right.
it really
true.
depends.
I guess
So
like a cold environment would
I would say
preserve-
with an 11 a bit too hard
Too
to,
hard,
to
okay.
tell, but it could be anywhere from 10 years plus.
Okay, oh, I can't.
So, can you do that? Can you...
Not me.
So, you need someone, like, pretty powerful to bring
Yeah,
a
someone-
dragon back from the dead.
Someone
That is not bringing something back to the dead. That is reanimating a body. They're different.
But whoever did it is
Ah.
a powerful individual.
Reanimating a body is heathenous.
Well,
Bringing back someone from the dead takes an incredible amount of power,
is
especially for across a long period of time.
Didn't you
it
mention
also
that you could do that?
heathenous? Is it also heathenous?
No. Necromancy is a perversion of life. That creature is not living. It is destruction of the soul and destruction of the body and desecration at the highest.
What if it's like consensual? What if they're like, when I die, bring me back as a skeleton?
That's facts, though.
Because then I can live as a skeleton.
You're not living. The creature, it does not have sentience.
Oh.
What if I just want my body back to do its own thing? You know, I've lived in it for so long. When's its turn?
Also, your soul
Stupid.
goes to like the heaven, and
You
then
will-
your body just chills.
Your body will get hunted down by Power in order, probably.
Or us. I stand stoic.
I mean,
With
I mean, if one of you is a zombie, I will kill the zombie.
Oh.
It's an act of mercy.
Well, for everybody, let's get some nice warm coats on and hopefully not run into that thing again. Or if Avalon, if you could just do that thing you did yesterday, that'd be great.
What thing?
That way you scare the dragon off in case it comes back.
I mean, I can do that if an undead creature comes around. It generally only works on the undead.
We should probably travel quieter than we did yesterday, shouting.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
do you mean?
Dilbert. Yeah, Dilbert.
I thought you were gonna die.
What? I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say to that. I'm staying out of it. I will give you guys the map. Just a quick flex, everyone.
It's the map.
I made this myself, bitch. Just kidding.
If I suck on it, does it taste like pee still?
Smells like paper.
It's a
Yum.
shame.
Don't lick it. Do you
Don't
want the
lick
map?
the pizza.
If you lick my map, I'll be so upset with you.
Random question, Holly.
Yeah.
Because we're like so high up in like, you know, like sort of like K2 Everest kind of like ranges and stuff, would Kruger have any info of like frost giants chilling out around here because it's so cold? At least
You can roll a history check for me.
that's it. I'm just out of like,
Specifically for giants, you can roll with advantage.
Thank you. That's better. That's a 17.
Oh, 17. Okay, I'll say with a 17, you know that the Dawnvale, and particularly its peaks, are renowned for the giant clans, the Gruthkin clans, that kind of thrive around the area, and they have done for centuries and centuries.
Long time.
A really long time. And for the most part, these citadels that they had built in the times before humankind had kind of... In the time before mortals had, you know, grown in power and strength and had taken over...
Spread like Christian rabbits all over the world.
Yes, exactly. Before they have kind of built their own cities and things like that, a lot of the citadels have been abandoned. And for the most part, they only really exist at the very top of the Dawnvale, at its highest peaks, and in places like Goza and Yacht, which were ancient Gruthkin cities, but for the most part, a lot of Gruthkin clans have actually been culled quite a lot because they were aggressive and territorial when it came to mortals that were encroaching on their territory. So they tend to kind of keep to themselves and are relatively isolated. They do still exist in the Dawnvale, but there's very little indication as to how many their numbers are or where in particular they might be other than those two cities. I will say though, because you have specific knowledge about giants, that You do know there are, maybe not specifically frost giants. They do exist mostly a bit closer to the sharp frost glades, so they're usually over in the colder parts in the Maiming Peaks, for example. But there are certain Grothkin clans that often hold their conclaves in the Dawnvale.
Okay. Okay.
So you think they might be around. So you could keep an eye out for them.
And do I know if frost giants specifically are more, more aggressive towards small folk, or if they're more like, we don't care, just go away?
There are certain...
Or,
I mean,
or does it more or less depend on the giant itself?
It kind of mostly depends on the giant itself.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are some clans, like I said, they're very territorial.
Yeah.
So depending on where you encounter them, they might be a bit more aggressive.
Gotcha.
If you go specifically to a citadel or to a proving arena, they would be probably quite aggressive unless you were invited in specifically.
Mm-hmm.
As for the most aggressive, generally... the most aggressive towards mortals usually tend to be storm giants because of their connection with Keel, and
Yeah, that tracks.
yeah, because they believe they are closer to divinity than
Because storm giants were like
mortals.
created from the god of the storms.
Yeah.
That tracks.
So generally they're a bit more aggressive towards mortals.
Gotcha.
I would say fire giants also tend to be incredibly territorial.
Mm-hmm.
But that's mostly because they're typically in areas where mortals would kind of congregate if they're looking to mine things specifically, or they're looking to take resources from
Like
the
Isaac.
mountains that they live in.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, the ones that are really encountered a lot by mortals are usually your stone and hill Grothkin, because they tend to be the less noble of the Grothkin clans, usually, or the types of Grothkin. So often they'll be sent out to do scouting missions or things like that. They also are not seen as intelligent as Cloud, Storm, Fire, and Frost Giants, so they generally tend to be more hit this diplomacy later. But you know that one of the proving arenas for the Yonta is actually in the Dawnvale, and it's hidden for the most part, but it is there, and it's usually run by a cloud giant.
I don't want to. Okay, cool. I mean, if they're friendly, that'd be chill. But if they're not, then avoid.
It really kind of depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Um, Like I said, some are more aggressive than others, but for the most part, it's kind of a mixed bag. Generally, mortals tend to be the more aggressive ones in a situation where they would meet a giant up in this kind of environment. But yeah, Gosa and Yacht, they're kind of the areas that you might be looking for.
We're heading north, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we might. Yeah, kind of
we
towards
wanna
Gosa.
Because
Yeah.
we want to get here. We wanna get
Yeah, we want to get to Gilchrist.
I believe Gosa has been pointed out to you.
It has, yes.
Yeah. That is kind of it's not exactly, I would say it's not exactly a citadel, so to speak, anymore. It has largely been taken over by smaller Grothkin clans that now coexist with mortals in the area, so it is kind of a thriving place at the moment. That's why it was pointed out to you as like a waypoint almost. If you're going to be around the Dawnvale for a little while, then probably best to check in there if you can.
I mean, if there are giants there, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So there are Goliaths there, other kind of Grothkin related individuals.
Cool. Alright, thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
No worries. I hope that was useful information.
I would relate.
Kind of an it depends answer.
Yes. I would have been like, all right, guys, are we ready? Also, I should have maybe prefaced this earlier. Frost giants may be around because cold.
Oh dear.
Don't worry. They'll only. It depends, but they probably won't attack you if you don't provoke them.
Okay.
I don't like
Grofkin
the
are very
it depends.
territorial.
Okay.
But hey,
Don't
I can
get
talk to them, so it's all good.
Okay.
Dilbert said he could talk to the dragon.
That-
and that
To be fair, that dragon was dead. If we encounter an undead Grofkin, then we might be out of luck. Then we have Abelard.
Okay.
we have a lot.
I can
Vamonos.
try again, I guess. I
Good
wouldn't
luck,
be
have
overly
fun.
reliant on that, but
Okay.
Do we need to roll for the weather?
Yeah, so now that actually, we're kind of missing some of the party. I'll still get you guys to roll a d12 for me.
No one roll a
Whoever would
fucking
like
7.
to roll a d12.
I've had very
let
bad.
me
yeah,
roll.
me-
Let me roll the moon die.
Don't roll a 7.
An 8.
Ooh.
That's not a 7.
Finally.
No, but they're close. That could be the same fucking thing.
No,
As
we're-
you're the DM, I
It could be,
legitimately
it could be the same thing but worse.
Or
Fuck!
I mean, no, it means
blizzard.
beautiful, clear skies,
As clear as
sunshine.
as clear as a mountain can
It,
get.
it
I would think
could be a random table where 7 and 8 are completely different things.
Oh, well, let's hope so. Frost giant.
A swarm of Fortnite players emerge from the rocks.
They're doing the gritty.
Ew.
They're hitting the gritty.
No.
Kill them.
Gritty cannon.
Gritty.
What's the weather like, Holly?
No.
Is it bad now? Did I
We'll
make
see.
it a 7?
We'll
Always
see.
the weather.
Abelard
Where
takes
am
12 psychic damage for no apparent reason.
I'm resistant, lol.
You got resisted.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You lose your
As you guys kind of tentatively peek your head out of this circular opening, you see that the skies are mostly sunny.
Hell yeah.
You can see some really fluffy white clouds in the distance that kind of roll on towards you all. You do notice, however, that as you're looking down at the snow, it's glaringly bright. It's incredibly hard to look directly at these plains of snow that you guys find yourselves on. There's undulating land that you can kind of see a little bit, but it's really reflective with the light that's kind of shining on it from above.
I mean, our wishes for clear weather have been granted, but perhaps it's too clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of stings your eyes a little bit. It's painful to look at it for too long. As you guys get accustomed to it, it is still really bright in sections, especially if there's an undulating hill. You kind of look at these crests of these hills, and they appear to bounce light a little bit more drastically than just the plain flat snow that you can see out the front.
I think my mask is tinted.
Maybe.
Look at it.
Everyone but
Character-
Abelard.
Yeah, look at the character art.
You're leading the way
But
then.
I was about to say, like, sunglasses.
Yeah, you're leading the way. You can perception check the route.
There are some things that you can't prepare for.
I'm just looking. I didn't look at the character art, but I'm pretty sure the young mini I have is tinted.
Yeah, I didn't make them clear when I drew them.
Oh, tinted. Does that help?
There you go. Yeah, sure.
Dude,
I mean,
Fuck yeah.
sunglasses.
it is still, it doesn't completely remove the glare. I won't say that they're polarized or anything.
You can just see better.
But it's not quite as painful for your eyes as everybody else looking at this and trying to discern any kind of, any real definition of these planes is pretty hard, pretty tough.
Who's leading the way today? Good.
Yay. Go ahead and roll a survival check for me.
Don't forget the guidance yourself.
You guys, I believe, are on your 4th day of travel now,
This is our first
into
one.
a 10-day travel, 10, 11 days. So
Something like
got a little bit of way to go.
If
Is it allowed to be perception
Is
or
that-
is it survival?
Do we have a long rest?
Well, are
Yeah, we
you
did.
you're going in a specific
didn't think I
direction, or you're
did.
just
Oh, long
casing the
rest?
joint?
Just say no, just in case.
Because we want to
Going
make sure
in.
we're going.
Okay.
If you're going in a direction, then it'd be survival.
Survival's it's a
I need
wisdom-based
to
skill.
roll the new dice.
You guys.
Yeah, but Abelard's a perceptive boy.
I am. I've got +7. 15.
With a 15, I'll say that you're not quite as in tune with leading the party as Dilbert was, having done it for several days in a row and kind of been really traveling in the same direction. But you kind of pick up on the trenches that you can see to your right-hand side, and you think, oh, we must have been going the other way. And so you head in that direction.
And can I use this time to figure out which way's north?
Sure.
Cool, because we're heading northwards.
You're heading northwards?
I believe so. The map says north, we're heading towards Gozer, aren't we? And we're going from Rotterdam.
Wait, were we not going to the temple?
We're heading towards
temple is
in
northwards.
between Gersa and Gilchrist.
Yeah, that's north.
So it's
With the
kind of
centipedes.
north, east-ish.
That's not a bad idea. We should have bought a fucking compass.
Well, June gave away the compass.
Oh, he did.
Oh my god.
That's right. Oh.
We did buy a compass.
We did have a compass.
Excuse you, I bought a compass.
Yeah.
The party had a compass.
June was being nice.
June was being nice. No, we can't.
And we don't need a compass, we've got the sun and the stars. Except the stars kind of suck, but we've got the sun.
Ow!
Hell on them
You
stars,
guys don't
though.
travel at night, so how do you know?
Oh, true, that's true.
Yeah, so the stars could be great.
So we're heading north.
There's a big compass in the sky.
Yeah.
This
This
way.
My
following
favorite
this
constellation.
specific- The moon god. What can I say?
True.
What can I say?
Alright.
Shadow, if you're pointing
I-
that way.
I look forward to seeing if you guys ever travel at night.
Last time we travelled at night, Abelard nearly died by a gang member.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
well-
and June nearly died. Yeah.
I will still have our money.
That was entirely not my fault. So
Hey, I got a regular visibility out of that. That's
I
just
didn't
busted.
expect it to happen. What? I mean, that was probably the last time June and Abelard were like
buddy.
Yeah.
homies.
Wow. Damn, that was so long ago.
That was ages ago. So
Yes.
you guys make your way following Abelard. Are you guys tying yourselves together, or are you just heading out into the wilderness,
Just heading out today, I reckon.
unchained?
Well, if it's nice and sunny,
The
we can all
wilderness
see each other.
Yeah.
Maybe yeah. Well, what does the group think?
June wouldn't join in on the chain today. June would just be like, "You're just chill
Are we
out."
crossing any more hazardous mountainous terrain like we did like 2 days ago?
I mean, you're always kind of you
I
don't know at
Mm.
this stage. What you can see is it looks relatively. There's no narrow ledges that you can see at the moment.
Why don't we?
Rain.
Yeah, we'll tie ourselves together when we feel it's necessary.
Yeah, I was gonna say because didn't we? We tied ourselves together because of the fog, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
so
yeah,
might as well just.
if we need to, we'll do it. But for
Yeah.
now,
Sure.
All good.
You guys head on. Is there anything specific that you want to do during your travel, or you just like to keep heading forward?
Gonna keep an eye out for any. Well, I'll probably be at the back, just keeping an eye out for
Sure,
literally
roll
anything scary.
Roll a perception check for me.
Can I perform the help action just by also looking out?
Yeah,
at the
sure.
time?
My perception's not very good.
but you're trying.
I'm trying my hardest.
Try and help the group out.
That's okay. That's a 14 plus, hopefully.
No, I think it's just a regular old 14. Unless I have a. I still haven't opened my D&D Beyond. Are you guys impressed?
Oh my
Do
god.
you need help with your D&D Beyond, my guy?
No, it just needed to press
So-
the button.
press that button, Jones.
What did you get, sorry?
At least 14.
At least 14.
It is a 14 exactly.
14 exactly. Nice.
There we go.
And the marching order is Abelard in the front.
Me at the back.
hmm
I will be fourth from the front. No, I'll be in.
Sure. Let's put. Who do we want to put second?
Dilbert.
Gilbert second.
Yeah, we'll put Dilbert second.
I should probably be next to Dilbert.
Yeah.
Okay, Dilbert, Ira,
Then
Val.
Val.
I'll go.
I'll be
Fourth from the front.
I'll be near A9 because Kruger's a little concerned about him.
Sure, Nadra in the center.
Sure, that is where I am.
I'm by A9 because I was helping doing the check.
Nadria, Kruger, June, and then A9. I'm assuming you guys aren't always exactly traveling in single file,
No.
especially because this is a wide space. But
Yeah.
this is just so I can get a handle on who's where,
Yeah.
what's happening.
Nice.
Okay, so as you guys travel onwards, you're feeling much warmer. It's not quite as biting. The wind that kind of whips through the space. It's a lot calmer than it was yesterday. You kind of listen out in certain places, A9 and June, for any kind of rumbling that you might, be expecting from dragons, from avalanches, that sort of thing. For the majority of the day, I'd say you get to at least 2 traveling forward, and you don't notice anything in particular that is of concern. You're still just traveling through plains, it seems like. There are these large, towering, just jagged pillars of stone that make up these mountains that kind of reach upwards. They're almost like the hilts of swords have been buried into this snow. Some of them are shaped kind of very, very narrow. Some of them are a bit broader and wider. It seems like there's these sloping paths. You can kind of look over some of them and you can see these tumbling avalanches below you. And these different kind of sets of really barren trees and landscapes that have kind of been picked at. Some birds that are kind of circling them. Just kind of to the side. It gets a little bit tiring after a while because you guys are constantly traveling up, it feels like, at this point. So I will get everybody to roll a Constitution saving throw for me, please. It's a relatively low DC.
15.
Perfect.
Wow.
Perfect.
19.
Amazing. I will just quickly roll for Dilbert and Ira.
I can roll for Dilbert if you like.
Yeah, go for it.
Get my Constitution saving throw
Ooh.
modifier is insane.
Okay. So, I'm going to go around the table, just
Yeah,
check what
that's
everybody
better.
got. Nadria.
That one.
Oh,
Oh dear. For a 2.
Saving throw?
Yeah.
That's so dead. That's a
Nadria
+1 to a con save. That's dead.
Listen, ladies, here goes easy success. Not one.
Yeah. Kruger, 15 was it?
Kruger got a 15, Dilbert got a 10.
Okay, perfect. Both successes.
19.
A success. Success.
Great success.
14. No, 13.
Perfect.
12.
12. Yeah, all successes except for Nadria.
God
No.
damn it, Nadja.
So in the middle of your travels, I'd say you get to probably like 2 in the afternoon, and in the middle of the pack, you see that Nadria just begins to get a bit tired, a bit sluggish, kind of making your way, kind of moving up this relatively gradual slope, but it is kind of hard. Like, the snow is compact in some areas, but it's also really spongy, and your feet kind of go through these thick layers of snow. You kind of have to pull them out, and you feel some of the slush kind of leaking into the top of your boots, and you have to kind of brush them off.
Do Dilbert and Kruger at some point, because we're so small, just go sink all the way through?
It's not quite powder, so there is
Okay.
some weight to it. It's mostly for the individuals that are a little bit heavier and more muscular, that have a bit more weight to them,
One's away like
than
150 pounds.
than the tiny ones. But because you have so much weight and gear on you, you do kind of struggle a little bit. It's up to your hips, and you're kind of trying to swish through
I use my boots to like just
to hop out.
triple
Yeah.
jump, like boing!
Sure. You guys watch Kruger kind of just
Yes.
kind of hopping across the snow. A9, you do particularly struggle, but you kind of shrug it off relatively easily. But you can feel the snow kind of clinging to your legs, and you kind of brush them off. Nadria, you do take a point of exhaustion, having to travel through all of this. almost impossible to tell. Nadri is just, they're just, you know,
Needy.
yeah, bored, angsty.
Don't forget to mark off a day's worth of rations, people.
Constant edge.
Me and Nadra both have 1 point of exhaustion right now.
Nadria is really edging right now.
Ew.
Ew.
You're a horrible person.
Thank you.
You have to change the flags on the stream, Xando.
Not yet.
Well, too late now. I hope any children watching.
Have
we're
a
not
bad
listening.
night.
We're not listening.
You're horrible.
Well, we are marked under mature content.
Oh, thank God.
That's good.
Okay.
That's I
Well,
would
never
say,
mind.
yes.
We've avoided it. So. So with your point of exhaustion, Nadria, you guys travel pretty much for an undisturbed day.
Nice.
However, it gets to
Oh,
God damn it.
You're like,
It gets to I would say maybe 4 in the evening, and the sun is kind of making its way. It's beginning to fall down the other side of this mountain peak, and you get these wonderful, almost striated, like strips of sunlight, gold, and kind of a nice change from it being overhead and being really glary, bright, just kind of, you can feel the sunburn sinking into your skin from the reflective surface of the snow.
Makes you feel alive a little bit.
Imagine having skin.
Fucking
Imagine
hell.
showing skin.
Yo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abelard's like a Victorian era woman.
Yeah.
Like no
Ankles!
ankles! No ankles!
Ankles of a horse.
You showing an ankle in your culture is just like, oh, God, they're into me.
Harry starts blushing and
That'd
fading.
be
But
so
you can't
slutty.
see the blush
No
because you're in
ankles.
masks.
But gradually you watch as these cotton candy pink skies and these swirls of purple kind of make themselves into ribbons in the sky as the sun begins to set. And at this point, A9, you notice that there is a kind of dilapidated, collapsed stone hut. That kind of... It doesn't appear to have a roof, and it appears to have been blown apart almost by a heavy impact. But there are little bricks of stone. It's mostly dry stone wall masonry, so there's not much to these bricks. They're really kind of just flat-ish stones, or stones that they thought would make a good wall. But they've been blasted apart and kind of left to the side.
Does this look like a temporary housing to wait out the storm, or does this look like someone's actual like living space?
Roll a perception check for me, but I'll tell you straight away that it does look like somebody's living
Nat 20,
space.
22.
Yeah, it does look like somebody's living space, though it hasn't been inhabited for a very long time. You can see that there are like slick bits of ice that are kind of almost like a ramp attached to the top of what's left of this stone structure. There's icicles that are kind of hanging down from it. There appears to be no door as well, so that has either been scavenged for wood or has been kind of just blown apart, taken away. Who knows?
Is there any caves around, or is it just the shelter?
So you can just see the shelter at the moment, but you can have a look around for caves if you guys would like to find some shelter for the night.
Because, yeah, there's no roof on it, but I imagine the walls will provide some protection from wind, or the wall's gone as well.
So the walls are gone in one spot.
Okay.
So it's not a perfect square either. It's kind of like... It's very much more circular, actually, in its shape. So it's like a weird... It's not quite a circle, it's not quite a square. There are some flat bits to it, but it kind of just looks like whoever made this just was putting stuff there and hoping for the best and then making a roof out of it. So it doesn't look like the best craftsmanship that you've seen. So whoever was making this is like rudimentary, had rudimentary skills in stone walling. It was actually probably quite good at it, but maybe not the architecture side of things. So, You think there is a sizable gap in the
Alright.
section here that would let in the elements, but there is a stone back to it. So if you would like to stay here, you
Can I do a check to see if there's anything better?
yeah, roll a perception check for me.
Could I be giving him advantage because I was looking around as well?
Sure. I will say also that you can spot that there are. This is specifically inside the hut. You can see that there are these kind of mounds of snow that seem to have fallen or be built around a particular object. They're almost like little hills themselves.
Okay, never mind. I'm looking at that. I'm not helping you now. I'm looking at that.
Buried Remorav's eggs.
Or
just remember.
Doesn't look as big as the trenches. That you
perhaps where bodies have been buried.
Who knows?
I'm gonna
You
go.
want me to roll?
Yeah, perception. Or survival, actually. If you're
Yeah.
specifically looking for an area to take shelter, probably survival, or if you're just casing the joint, perception.
Casing the giant.
Oh, perception.
That is a 16.
With a 16, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary in this section. The, let's say, hut itself kind of looks to have been built. I mean, there's no back to a mountain or anything that it's up against. It's kind of just in the middle of this space. You don't notice anything that indicates that there are any creatures in the vicinity, so it doesn't seem like there's any, there's no remoras in this, you don't think. If there were, they'd have to be very, very small. It's not a narrow part necessarily of the plains, but it is kind of approaching almost the point of where you think you'd have to go past something else to get to more plains or something similar.
Can I approach these little snowy mounds inside
Sure.
the hut? Does the snow look like it's been freshly put together, or it's like it's been there for some time?
It looks like it's been there for some time. Snow falls here relatively consistently.
And with no ceiling, yeah. wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like it's just fallen around something that's sizable.
Kruger,
Yo.
would you like to dig these up with me?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. It could be treasure that someone's left behind, or a dead body.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Or a resting beast.
Maybe like an underground basement or something, like inside the mountain.
Maybe.
If we're
Trapdoor
lucky.
underneath.
Trapdoor underneath.
The more many hands make light work.
I mean, I think I have a shovel.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No,
Well, actually, no, I think-
mage hand just
Andrea, you don't look so good.
slowly just.
Are you
pick up
okay?
5
They're
pounds
just
of snow
dying.
inside.
Kruger, this is team building.
I did
Do
not
they
have a
look like
shovel.
any grave mounds that I would have heard about or anything like that?
You can roll either religion check or intelligence check for me.
You think-
Religion, because I got a bonus.
Start digging.
Oh.
Oh, Nadria, you look better.
Nadra's not even
17.
17. These don't necessarily look like graves. They're maybe about that big.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh.
So
This is
if-
easy digging then.
If they-
I don't know, just giant.
There's probably
Yeah.
about 5 of them. They're probably about maybe this big. And if something was to be buried here, they'd either be buried like vertically, like they're standing up,
I
or
hope
it's
vertical.
just the head.
What's the Persian king that had a garden of religious foes he didn't like, and he planted them upside down, and then took the leader of the religion to the garden and said, "Look at my trees."
Oh yeah, I don't know the name, but I do remember hearing about that when I studied it.
Anyway, that was our thing.
Do we find any?
So you're actively digging it.
Yeah.
What's in the
I'm
mound?
curious.
Bomb.
That was.
I was like,
Kruger,
pinched like a big
you're
worth of
doing most of the digging, I'm assuming. And Nadra just kind of
Also,
But
physical work to
it's
keep
not
you
even
warm.
Nadra doing it, it's just the mage hand. Nadra's like.
can't be bothered. Yeah. So Kruger, as you're digging, you feel your hand brush against something. It feels kind of slick and wet for a moment.
Is it like?
I should call.
Is it like? Or is it like?
That's awful.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't sink into anything.
Okay.
It just feels very, very cold all of a sudden. I mean, you're not wearing gloves, so you're just digging through snow.
This is something the real me would do. I have
try
done
and
this.
warm your hands up several times, just breathing on them, kind of just rubbing them together.
Probably in a
Eventually,
coat.
you see that you brushed up against what appears to be a leather, almost like a leather pouch or a bag of some sort. That just seems to have been left behind.
Is it like sewn around? Like, is it like a bit of string wrapped around the top like that?
So it's a leather cord that's kind of tying it closed. It looks very, very old, and it's kind of moldy and decaying in certain places.
What?
The smell is awful. As you pull it out, it smells acrid. It's like very sharp,
Oh,
Well, I didn't find a dead
filling
body.
the space.
but I found something that smells like one. Ah!
This is only one of the.
I kind of want to open it. Should I open it? I kind of want to open it.
Does it smell like flesh?
Roll a perception check for me.
No, because I have a feeling it could be a body that's been cut up.
Yo.
That's why. I know I had that suspicion.
No,
What
but-
am I rolling?
Perception.
Just perception.
It's awful. It is.
+4.
Plus a 9.
With a 9, you don't know that this smells like flesh, but it smells like death. It smells horrible. It like as soon as it was pulled free from the snow had kind of been trapping in any aroma that you could have. But the more and more that Kruger uncovered it, the more that you guys could really get the sense that something's not right here. You open
Are
it,
you open it?
you're immediately hit with like this absolutely toxic smell. It just is awful. And as you look in, you can see this like thick black slush at the bottom that kind of almost looks like there's been something left here that has very much decomposed and has turned into like.
Is this rotten food?
I mean, yeah. Like, it's
Wow.
Ah.
That's gross.
this one specifically is rotten food.
I mean, yeah, it's just something that's gone off and kind of turned into nothing.
Well, 1 out of 5.
Mage hand.
I'm gonna tie it back up.
Maybe the guy
Still
people
smells
would put
awful.
this there. We're trying to
Well,
refrigerate.
I'm gonna.
It's like stuck in your nose and on your clothes.
Oh no, not on the clothes.
I'm just gonna.
Kruger, stand here.
No, hang on a minute.
I'm gonna walk 30 feet away from the hut.
And then.
Right, sure.
Just so I can.
I'll say you're just
Some of the
throwing it
blacks.
blindly.
Yeah.
What's
walk
your strength mod? It's like +3, right? It's chucked far enough away that you can. You only have the memory of how awful that
Yeah,
smells.
like a bad smell that lingers in your
Yeah.
nose. Like I can still smell it, man.
Yeah. You're trying to like breathe in the cool air of the mountain. Yeah. You head back. Are you digging for more?
Yes.
Are we digging for more?
Oh,
I mean-
of course.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go look for a place to sleep. I don't want to dig in case it's more of that crap.
Sure.
I'm gonna help Babylon.
All right.
Even though he's already looked, I'm
I
gonna be
need
like,
somebody to roll a survival check if you're specifically looking for shelter.
I'll help Val then.
Oh,
Guidance.
So advantage.
And the rest of you are digging.
We're digging.
Digging?
Don't
Sure.
forget your D4.
oh, it's good. What?
Don't forget your D4 for the guidance.
Oh, yeah, the guidance. Oh man, it's
Don't forget
good.
D4 for the guidance.
That's pretty good.
19.
17 plus 24.
24, nice. It is relatively
This is 16,
easy
right?
for you to scope the area, Val, and to see a section of stone that appears to. It doesn't appear to be as nice as the previous caves and things that you found unless you guys are willing to travel further away from the party to look for them. In your immediate vicinity, you can see that there are these two kind of sloping pieces of stone that kind of form a makeshift, almost like a makeshift tent of sorts that blocks it well enough, but the ground is still snow.
I found this.
Where? Oh, good spotting.
For the rest of you who are digging up these sacks, you do find another one that smells awful again, and you assume it's probably rotting food. You do find that there is a particularly heavy leather pouch that you pull out that has 500 gold in it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, 500 gold. As somebody's just dumped this shit and run.
Hey, Nodria, you can keep that if you'd like.
More?
Yeah, well, I mean, you've already got.
Why did I go away? I want money.
We
We've
don't
already
know.
got
We
gold.
don't know this is happening. We're looking.
Why don't we share it with everyone else?
Because sharing is caring.
We don't do that with the gold we have normally. It would probably just be turned over to Abelard and we'd be like, oh, it's collective money. I think it's better if you keep it. I mean, from the other times that you've offered various lump sums of money that I presume means you have lump sums of money just hidden on your body.
It's like, yeah.
Just, I reckon you should just take this 500.
Are you with us? A9?
So Dilbert and Ira are also with you.
Oh, Dilbert and Ira
Yeah.
with us?
Hey,
Dilbert
what
is-
did you-
Dilbert will want some of the
Hey, did you
money.
guys find anything?
June looks at you with like
Who the fuck
waiting
is that?
for you to say something.
What? Did you find more weird smelling stuff?
Yeah?
Yeah.
We did find more weird smelling stuff. I mean, yeah.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, show.
I open the bag in front of Dilbert,
The gold one or the other one?
the stinky one.
Nadja has the
That's
golden hand and just walks away because you're doing
Yeah.
disgusting things.
Sure. So
Oh,
that's...
I'm sorry, Dilbert. I sniffed the bag as well. At least we're suffering together.
Yeah, that sucks.
You're opening up
This-
another one?
The stinky bag.
Sure.
Because Dilbert was like, what's in that bag? And I was like, here's a stinky bag.
Yeah,
Sure.
to distract Gilbert.
You open it up, and you can see that there is an almost perfectly preserved frozen hand.
Wait,
Does it smell?
It does smell.
June, that's a hand.
Do you want a hand?
I stop from my walking away
Dilbert.
and just turn around like,
Dilbert like falls to the ground laughing. He thinks it's fucking hilarious.
Classic Gilbert.
That's pretty in character.
It smells so bad, but it's so good.
June like takes the hand out of the bag, and
Dilbert goes to shake it.
yeah, we'll do that. That's better than what I was saying.
Hey, nice to meet you.
It's actually pretty good.
Is it going to be safe to stay here?
I'm done.
You say happy holiday.
I have no idea.
Enjoy
Disgust.
brimming.
I'm embodying Jack, alright?
I don't think Jack would do that.
I'm
He would have
Currently-
licked
a
the
lower
hand.
level.
A9, currently it doesn't really seem safe to stay anywhere on this path, I'll be quite honest. We are on the trail of Remoraz. Remoraz?
Yeah, remember.
And yesterday I just don't think there's anywhere that's safe on this trail, and we're sort of just accepting that fact as we go along.
But it's a...
Do you think something... sorry, a better question. Do you think the thing that did this thing is still about? And a problem for us?
Yes?
There's
Is
a
it...
lot happening there.
What's the word? For a removed limb?
There you go.
Severed?
D7, yeah.
Mhm.
There's a severed hand in a
Amputate.
bag. Why? I mean, if they put it in a bag, they must be planning to come back for it.
Who's gonna want to come back for black gunk in a hand?
I don't know, some sort of...
Well, you did also find 500
yes.
gold.
Wait, that's
so
but that's the thing. Only these two know about
Oh,
it
yeah,
because
yeah.
they're not sharing that info.
you do also still have one pouch that you guys have.
Hey, maybe we'll find like a head or some jewels or something. Surely it's not all gross stuff.
I'm gone.
Okay. Well,
I'll get Dilbert to roll
Cool.
just a perception, an investigation check for me.
we got 2 more bags.
Not 20!
As
20 flat.
June is kind of turned away and Dilbert is kind of looking at the hand in the bag, Dilbert noticed that there are some symbols tattooed on this hand. That is relatively big. It would have completely engulfed Dilbert's hand, maybe 2 times over. It's huge.
The hand.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The hand, like June would have noticed that as well, but June wasn't really paying attention to the tattoos on the hand. So,
Okay.
Let's see if we find a second one of these, because I may have had a dream about this.
Oh, wait. Hang on. I'm picking up something as a player. Wait, what do the tattoos look like?
For Dilbert's reference, a lot of them appear to be triangular.
Triangular.
There are some circles as well on there. It looks like it's a repeating pattern that crawls up the ring finger and ends at the wrist. And it's almost like a cross, like from the knuckle of the thumb there to the edge of the
Okay.
pinky knuckle.
Okay. Does this...
So one long line down from here, down from the, and then bisected by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does this look like any sort of iconography that Dilbert would recognize? Religious
Probably,
or archaic, cultish, anything?
He can roll a history check or a religion check for me.
Dilbert the dweeb. He's actually got religion. This man got religion.
Cleric.
Not yet.
One day.
18.
It looks quite similar to some tattoos
Oh, fuck.
that you guys have seen before.
Okay.
The line from the ring finger down to the wrist looks quite like the symbols that were on Nadria.
Oh.
Tattoos that you guys have
Oh,
seen.
Oh no.
the thing you said earlier was
Oh,
relevant.
it's all come around.
Oh no.
It's so crazy how that happens. The one that's kind of going across seems to be, not that Gilbert would know how to read it, but it does seem to be Grothkin.
Would he know?
And I assume with an 18 we'll say that Dilbert studying this hand will probably know that this is at least giant related. The hand, specifically.
To be giant and Goth related.
What the
But we still
fuck
don't
is
know
going
this.
on?
No, hang on, we're about to.
By the way, Nadria has gone up to Kruger, thrown the pouch at him, and told him to share.
Wait, whoa, what's this? Oh, Nadria, come on, I just threw one of these bags away.
Share.
Sure, what, the gunk?
Do you smell anything?
You sure?
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're rich!
What?
Would I still be away from the house?
Well, Kruger's with Valor.
Yeah, so
Come
you.
up to you guys.
Yeah, we found some rocks. We're like,
So
I'm
wait,
like, could you
I'll
sweep
see you
the
with
snow
the-
out of it?
No, I threw it at you.
Okay, you throw it away. But I'm with Val.
Like
Oh,
the
well,
group
then
mother I
okay.
am, and just
Okay.
sweeping the snow out and setting up a
Oh.
So
fire.
Nadria comes up to us.
Okay.
Hey,
Group,
Val. We got money. No, not all of it.
No.
Dilbert will yell out about the symbols like, hey guys! There's some giant and I don't know.
Wait,
On the hand.
my hand.
Your hand.
I'm holding it.
You're holding it.
You're
I'm
holding
not
it.
giving it back.
Well, does he still recognize the symbols?
Yeah, I know he's just doing that. I'm just
Oh,
making
okay.
sure.
Oh, okay, no,
that
you're
I
holding
still
it.
have the hand. I got plans for this hand.
And
'Did the bags look like they had been buried? Or was it just that snow had accumulated at the top?
It looks like snow had just accumulated on top of them.
Could I estimate how long, roughly?
You can roll an intelligence check for me, please.
Smart boy.
Initiate.
Smart boy.
16?
16. Probably it's been upwards of a year.
Oh, okay.
So there was quite a layer of snow
Mm.
on these, and it's gauging with the sight of the sludgy black food that you'd found as well. It's probably been a little while, and obviously based on the hut itself as well. It's been exposed to the elements for so long. There are ramps of ice and things that are kind of reaching down to the ground. And yeah, you think it's been upwards of a year at least that it's been untouched.
Cool. Dilbert would point out, like, "Hey, Nadria, this hand's got some tattoos like yours,
Severed hand with tattoos.
and there's also some weird giant crap on it.
What?
I don't know."
Audra looks back over to them.
So does Kruger, and Kruger will distribute the money evenly.
Sure.
What's 500 divided by 8? Math.
I don't need any
Quick
more,
maths.
please.
No.
I got like 2.
We're just gonna end up giving it all to Avalon.
No.
Everybody
I've got-
gets-
I've got fuck all of it.
Everybody gets
40. I've still-
62 gold and 5 silver.
A long
Okay,
way.
40 divided by 8. 400 divided by 8 is 50.
2 more bags?
Wait,
You only have one more bag.
62 gold and 50, is that 5?
I think so. You had
Five
the
silver, yeah.
food, 2 lots of food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One more.
so one more bag.
Let's go! Money!
Sure. You pick this one up.
How much, sorry?
62 gold and 5 silver.
Daddy's rich.
And you can see that this one kind of rattles slightly. And when you look in, you can see that there are lots of different mechanical parts that seem to be almost humanoid. There are pieces that look like fingers.
Hey, A9, I know I've asked a lot of you today, but could you have another look at this? Well, I mean, a look at this separate thing.
I'll grab the bag and
Another bag.
wait, the bag.
Bag, yeah.
Bag and open it up.
Another bag.
Would I? Is it normal for like parts of Arkanoids to exist away from an Arkanoid? Like, did they make replacement parts and things like that?
Roll a history check for me.
Sorry, did you
It's all
witness
about
that?
the technique.
Did
yeah.
you see that?
I did.
Oh wow, 25.
For the 25,
Dirty 20? Are we looking for
so you've noticed that in your time, you were a prototype, largely, an original creation of Arkanoids. They did make several different parts and things that could be detached, could be changed on an Arkanoid. It's unusual unless they're not working, so they would usually replace parts on an Arkanoid. However, for people that have certain disabilities, so if there are amputees or people that require prosthetics, they do also sometimes use Arkanoid-esque parts. So this could also be that. You'd have to study them more to really decide whether or not it's meant to be prosthetic or, I suppose, bionic, or if it's just for Arkanoids.
May I study like for example, for the fingers,
Sure.
the joining mechanism? Does it look like something that straps on, or is it something that sockets in?
It looks like something that sockets in.
Okay.
So there's a weird collection of different bits here. Like the fingers are almost perfectly like. You assume these ones are replacement parts for Arkanoids. I'd say you rolled a 25.
Yeah.
Sure. I'd say with the 25, yeah, they almost seem like replacement parts. However, there are some bits that look like they have anchor points on them that could be used for a prosthetic sort of purpose.
Right.
But those don't seem fully formed. necessarily. So they are mostly like wrist parts that have straps that would lead up towards the elbow to anchor there or to the shoulder. But the leather has been worn away and is kind of fraying. Doesn't look like it'd hold too much. But there's no hand actually attached to that wrist bit.
Was this in the 5th bag?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What?
Do you tell this to the party?
Yeah, more or less.
Well, if this is someone's second hand, this could be a ritual killing.
Or maybe they chopped off their hand to replace it with something else.
In the other bag?
Hmm?
They put like one hand in one bag and then were like interrupted in the middle of the process? I'm not saying wrong, I'm wondering if that's what you're thinking.
No, I suppose they chopped off their hand, put it in a bag, and put a new hand on.
But they left the hand in the bag. Oh look, there's a lot of weird stuff left around here. That like
I don't want to know, man.
it sort of looks like they were half interrupted. They've got food, they've got money, they've got hands. But yeah, my guess is ritual killing at the moment.
I would say that me and Kruger would want to try and investigate the hand if you would let us.
Yeah, I'll hold it up to you.
And
I keep a hold of it though.
is there anything more specific that I may recognize when looking at this hand of theirs?
Same.
Not so much for you. It does just look like an identifying tattoo for the cult of Jiva. You assume.
Yeah, I bet.
At least for some subsection of it. You've never seen anybody with this particular tattoo.
Oh, yeah?
And it's also quite rare that you'd find any Grothkin. This does seem to be Grothkin related. But I'll say, even without having to roll, you probably don't get too much more than just a repeating version of your tattoo running from the tip of the ring finger down to where you presume the wrist is. There might also have been who knows, like an extra section of it, but kind of hard to tell based on the little bit of hand that you have.
Not gonna lie, the Chivoth tat is kind of cool.
Can I do a medicine check on the hand to see is it a people?
Is it a people? Yes, you can. I'm also going to get you some more information.
Would it be would it be rude if I did some if I put like some paint on my hands of it? Or is that like offensive to your god, to Chivoth?
31.
31.
The fuck?
A medicine
31.
check. Is it a people?
Is it a people?
Since you've got a 31, could we also have information of what side of hand it is? Like it's for right hand or a left hand?
It's a right hand.
Cool.
I really just checked to see,
It
like,
is
there
humanoid for sure.
Mhm.
You think it's definitely some form of giant. It doesn't look like an old giant.
Well, it's a big hand,
It's
isn't
quite a big hand though.
it? Like
Can I
What
figure out what kind of giant? What color is it?
probably frost, cloud, or storm.
It seems it's been preserved and is decaying, kind of. Like there's no blood there, so it is very blue. It'd be very hard to tell what the original skin color or tone was. But it does seem almost most. How much would Abelet know? I'll say. Let me see. I will say that with a 31, it looks like a frost giant hand. It looks particularly icy and a lot more blue than you'd expect for... It's kind of in that weird space between blue and silver. But it looks inhuman in the sense that you don't think most humanoid parts that would have been preserved like this probably wouldn't have been wouldn't have turned this color.
And it was like a younger giant, like a child or like a teenager.
Probably not a child, just a
Like
I mean,
young
the this bag was a little bit bigger. It's probably like maybe that big, and the hand completely covered the space. So you assume it was young adult, maybe it's not necessarily fully grown, but it's definitely not a child hand. It's somewhere in between.
I will relay that information to the rest of the party.
Well, one thing, I'm glad this creature is no longer all right.
Well,
Because it doesn't have a right hand.
Thanks, A9. I was really waiting.
that wasn't in character.
Please.
Should we like bury the hand or burn it? I don't know what the tradition would be.
There's no tradition for a hand. We don't even know if the person's rest of them is alive or dead.
Probably. You know what? It's a 50-50 shot that maybe they chopped off their hand to escape something.
I'm planning on taking it with me for now.
You want to take the giant hand?
What
It's
if
just
it
more stuff.
decays?
Four.
Then I can leave it behind. But it's not decayed, which is the main point.
Is the
But it
information
will
about the
decay.
tattoo being Chivos related shared to the party?
Well,
Yeah,
announced-
Dilbert screamed it.
Dilbert-
Screamed it.
Well,
Dilbert
Dilbert
announced-
said it was similar to Nadria's.
Yeah,
But
that's
didn't
true.
say-
That's true.
Nadria knows it's Chivos related.
Yeah, you know what?
Nadria wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
Alright.
Dilbert would just say it looks like your tattoo.
Fucking.
I mean, it would make
Edgewood.
it would make sense given we're approaching the Temple of. But I know that we're approaching
yeah.
a Temple of
Well,
Chivos,
No,
right?
it's
It's not
Temple
Temple
of Ecleos.
Yes, it's not a
Oh,
temple.
wait, what's the
of
difference?
Different god.
Different god?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. fair enough.
What's the difference?
Damn, James!
Fair
I'm gonna
enough.
go.
Racist
I'm gonna
towards
go
God.
home and kill myself.
I don't know. Like Ecleos could have been the name of a
Unalive
religion, or
Yeah, I get what you mean. Somebody hasn't read the doc.
Yeah, this is true.
I don't know.
Okay. It's okay. I forgive you.
Holly does not forgive you. Holly's gonna shoot you in the night.
I don't own a gun. Probably not.
So
Val
this-
suddenly has a heart attack. What?
Whoops! Another dragon.
Sniper attack!
Oh, shame.
So if we know that the tattoo looks similar to Nadria's, Kruger would just be like, your tattoos mean anything, or your tattoos just for cool?
My tattoo is of the symbol of Shiva.
So does that mean, hey, wait on, why do giants worship, oh, do I know? Wait,
I
most giants would worship, like, Keel and Aiden, right?
Yes.
So that's very unusual for a giant to have Shivoth tattoos, right?
It is very unusual. Yeah.
This is, would Grigate have known anything about something like that, or no?
Most likely, probably not. It's not something that's really spoken about. Also, this is a very peculiar example.
Yeah, peculiar example.
I will say, with the extra information that you got when you looked at the hand,
Mm-hmm.
it does spell out the word Gerenfell
Gerenfell? How do you
across the hand in giant.
Can
So GERON
G-E-R-O-N?
THELL.
E-L-L?
Yeah.
Gerenfell. Is that a name? Does that look to me like a name, or does it mean something in giant? Like it's a like.
It doesn't. I mean, you could roll a history check. It does. It's not ringing any bells as to specific words that you might know. 14. It's a very obscure word.
Gerenfell?
And it sounds like something you might have heard a little while ago, but with a 14, I'll say that it's not ringing any bells for giant history.
Okay.
It is written in giant, but it's not ringing any bells for something that you might have read specifically for giants or something similar.
Gerenfell, written in giant but not related to giants. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
oh god.
Hang on. Does the word Gerenfell mean anything to anyone? Because that's not... Unless it's unless it's this dude's name, in which case it's pretty douchey. I don't know. Is that a thing? Chiva... Hey Nadria, do you have your name tattooed on you? Is that a Chiva thing?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
I thought I'd ask.
Like a religion check or something.
Yeah, can any of us roll to... 'cause
I'll let
Kruger
one
asked.
other person roll. Either a history, or I suppose if you want to do religion, you can.
Can I
What's your
give?
bonus?
Mad history. +5 history.
Can I give Val guidance?
Sure.
I'll do the help action then if I can.
Sure.
So
Advantage in D4.
Pushing it.
Da-
One
da-
other
da- da-
person can roll.
What was I rolling for?
History. To know what
We just wanna know.
Garenfell means.
Oh, that's right.
What's a grand hell?
14 plus a 4, which is
18 +5.
which is 23.
23.
Does the Bone Lord know?
Yeah, but also like
Um,
you're just like the sort of like architect historian, and so you just like know shit. You're just like
Yeah.
smart.
Give me a moment. I'll see
Smart
how much
boys.
information I can
Yeah,
give
it's
you.
all the time, I believe.
That name does ring a bell upon me.
Yes.
Indubitably.
Wow, what happened to your voice?
Garenfell.
Hello.
Yes, it's just one among millions of things that have affected my lifetime.
Let me find some information for you guys. Bear with me for just a moment while I look for stuff.
What the fuck's going on?
It's somewhere in my notes. I have a very bad organization system.
I'm scared.
Whoa, what's going on?
Maybe we should
Oh,
just.
saw, dude.
We got the money. Maybe we should just go back to Chronicle and leave us all behind and not investigate further, and everything will be fine.
Something's up. Why?
Would you do that to me?
Something.
Come on, man.
I'm
No,
scared.
don't you see it? Our stories are aligning somehow.
Uh-oh.
Maybe there's a cult of giants that are worshipping Chiba.
Yeah.
And they're bad. And they're bad. They could be metal giants. Oh, it's a frost giant.
Sorry, don't play us.
But it could be like Nadria needs.
Oh,
What? Did something just click?
Call your wing.
just thoughts I have. I'm having my first thought of the day.
Their brains awake, everyone. Their brain is awake.
Brain!
I'm having my first thought of the day.
I'm gonna go through my notes. My apologies, everyone. One day I'll get a better organization system.
Not based. One big document.
No,
One big doc.
I have
One
like
big doc.
50 documents, and they're not labeled very well. So,
Thoughts 4.
Interesting. Does your laptop need charging?
Oh, no.
maybe it's somewhere in here.
Are you
I
okay?
nearly deleted my tabs.
Whoa, I think I would cry if I did
I
that.
know you would cry.
I have like 30 of them.
I have like 5.
I have lots of them. Isn't this so wholesome? We found a hand, guys.
A hand that tells a lot of tales. This takes palm reading to the next level, eh?
Shut up.
Bam!
I don't think any of you have seen Nadra's other
Okay.
tattoos before.
No.
Connor, I had that open on my computer. I was waiting for that one.
Did you just Google jokes about hands?
Yeah, I did.
So, Val, with a 23, Garenfell is not at all giant related, actually. It's actually related to an ancient civilization of elves. This was one of the very first cities that was created in Cathora, and it is sometimes known as the Unseen City now, because of its location. I'll say even with a 23, you don't exactly know where that might be, but it is sometimes... Garenfell is its more popular name that it's known by now. There were certain giants that did exist in Garenfell when it was called originally Dwell Char, which was its original name. that does have some ties, you know, to the Kingdom of Acheron now. So you believe it might be somewhere to the west of you guys. But it was famed for a particular folklore story about a giant known as Grawn that took over in kind of a tyrannical rise to power and seized power for the giant inhabitants of Garanthel over the elves for a period of time, and there was a pretty bloody war, for example, that ensued, and that's, I mean, pretty much all you know even with the 23.
Okay.
Is it shared with the party?
I assume, yeah, well,
What was the giant's
very
name?
like
Goran?
sophisticated.
Grawn.
Grawn.
So Grawn.
Like you're giving a lecture.
Grawn.
Yeah.
Goran, thank you.
Yeah.
Tried to take over the city long ago.
Mm-hmm. So Garanthel, the unseen city,
And was known as Dwellchar? Dwellchair?
Dwell Char or Shah?
Dwellchar.
So
Dolce.
D-U-E-L-L,
D-U-E-L.
double L, yep.
Double L, yep.
And then apostrophe C-H-A-R.
You know what? I got
Yo,
so close to that
same,
spelling.
same.
Let's go.
I even got the double L.
I didn't get the double L. That was it.
I put, instead of a U, it was a W that I put. That was the only thing I got wrong.
Dwell Shah
Dwellchar.
or Char, depending on where
Dwellchar.
specifically in Cathor you're from.
Cool. Whoa.
We're thinking linguistically, folks. Okay, so you guys have found a severed hand. What would you guys like to do now? Do you want to search for some shelter somewhere else, or
Yeah.
Abelard's been clearing out a portion, I think, of this weird tent-like stone structure?
Yep.
Do you want some help there, Abelard?
I'm almost done.
Is he? Pog.
Yeah, there's a lot of snow to kind of clear out, but eventually you do see that there is kind of a rocky outcropping. This might have once been a ledge that has just been kind of covered by layers and layers of snow over a long period of time. So eventually you do, yeah.
Hold on.
I'd say probably about 6 in the evening when you manage to do that. So it is definitely getting dark now.
And cold, I imagine.
Yeah.
I pull out a bundle of firewood, I guess.
Sure. It's a pretty tight squeeze.
Gilbert will be like. The fire.
Sure. You're all kind of packed into this space. It's tent-like, so yeah, you need to huddle together for warmth, or you will be all kind of pressed up together. It's not going to be a comfortable sleep necessarily, but it's relatively sheltered from the elements, aside from the fact that there is a gaping hole at the front. So.
Do we have like a big tarp or something that we can use to like?
We had a tent before. Does anyone else have a tent?
I have a tent.
Do it that flew away.
Deal with tent and flower. We could use maybe the tents to like
What's
use
a
it as like a
meskit?
covering. Meskit's like medical supplies,
Oh,
right? Or is that, or am I thinking of
Mess, like food?
MESS? Or is that a food thing? What am I thinking of?
cutlery and
I'm
stuff.
food, yeah.
Medkit?
Oh.
Would I
yeah.
be using my bedroll? Would I be using my bedroll to sleep on?
Yes.
I think it's okay. I was gonna think like I could like use that as a to cover the hole.
Just
Up
but,
to you.
No, but I want.
I want to sleep.
You want to sleep somewhere?
Yeah.
You can just sleep while standing.
Just because you can.
Yeah,
It's all right for some.
It's alright for some.
Yeah.
I'll yeah.
Ten?
Yeah. You get your 10, I'll get mine.
Oh, I don't have a tent.
Oh.
I was not
No,
bringing
I'll tell you what. I know. I'll give you my 10 because I'm too small. Like, can you maybe like I don't know, use it as a tarp to stop some of the elements?
Hey, no, you sleep standing up, right?
Are you asking me to hold that?
I'm like, can I? Yeah, I am.
Can you do that?
I'll say no. If you're in stasis, it's not like that. You have to kind of be
Shall I-
still for a really
like a
long
soul.
period.
Can I like just poke each finger through the top and sleep like this?
I was just thinking I'd just drape it over your head.
Do that. Can I try to engineer a solution?
I mean, A9 is 5 5'2",
Yeah, I'm
I
fine.
think, or
That's
5'5".
true.
So,
Forget that.
Are you 5'2"? I forget you're a small boy.
like, yeah, A9 is quite small, so putting anything over A9's head, it'd probably just, like, it
Yeah,
may
that's-
make things worse, kind of. It'd just be, like, flying in the breeze, so.
to use him as like, to put him in the middle of the tent.
You guys do have, climbing instruments that you could.
Stake in.
Yeah, but I will say, I'd like you all to specify whether or not you're doing it through the canvas or through the loops for the tent.
Through the loops.
Through the loops?
Don't wreck my tent, please. I bought this. I paid money for this.
Because that'll change some things later down the line, so.
Yeah. Don't break my tent, please. That'd be great.
I'll
Sure.
do my best.
I will trust. I'll put my faith in June to set it
Sure.
up because
Straight through the canvas.
Are you? Okay.
Oh god, I was like,
Son of a bitch.
Sure, okay. So you guys managed to rig up like a little flap at the start here. Is there anything else you guys would like to do for the rest of the day?
Do the.
We got like downtime.
Yeah, pretty much.
a couple hours before bedtime.
Or whenever you guys would like to sleep, depending on when you like to wake up and get to moving.
Kruger,
Yes.
you know how to speak giant, right?
Yes.
Could you teach me the basics?
I can.
Could you I feel like it's going to be useful in the coming days, judging by the hand in my backpack, that I know at least a little bit.
No one's ever asked me to teach before. This is weird.
Could you run me through some lessons?
I can give you some basic words and some basic runes and what they mean, like some basic symbology, if that's helpful.
That would be useful. Know thine enemy.
Sure. I'll like get out like some. Does anyone have any paper or something to like write on?
here you go.
Andrea, you're the best. I'll get out some paper and I'll get out some of my paints and I'll just do like little.
I give you one piece.
Just
Give
one
you
piece?
of
I'll do
paper.
very small symbols then. I'll basically just give
The
you.
one piece is real.
The one piece. I'll give you. I'll be drawing like basic symbols, like the symbol for fire, for death, for journey, and all that sort of stuff, and not like any alphabet sort of shit. Be like, okay, so if you see that rune, that means like waterfall. And I don't know if it'll be useful, but like that's a pretty common one. And then I'll draw the symbol for death, and like that's the death rune.
Oh.
Yeah.
Roll an intelligence check for me, June.
Learning check. Oh no.
It's okay. I've only got
You'll
a
forget everything.
+2. That's a 5.
What languages do you know?
I know Common, Dwarvish, Gnomish, and Infernal.
This is completely different to a lot of the languages that you have learnt. It's quite guttural and it sounds a little bit harsh, and you think, oh, it might be similar to Infernal, but there are also some that seem to be almost very gentle and flowing. It very much seems like it ebbs and flows with particular words, and it seems to be very elemental in a lot of the runes that are being drawn by Kruger for you.
Cool.
It's very hard to keep track of what Kruger is kind of telling you. It's a lot of information to absorb all at once, and Kruger isn't going particularly
No.
slowly.
No, not slow at all. Very excited
Just
to be
very
showing.
excited to be showing you what he's learnt.
Kruger, can I have this sheet to refer back to for
Oh
later?
yeah, of course.
Thanks.
Is giant based off primordial?
Kind of, yeah.
Giants were some of the first people on Cthulhu.
Is that what speaks primordial? I can speak the language of fire.
They were created during the War of Holy Blood, right?
That's all it sounds like. Yes, that's correct.
Giants were made by these two gods. And one is Aten and the other is Keel. And then I kind of go into the hierarchy. I just go on a little spiel. It's just like, and then there's that, and then there's that. Oh, then you gotta know about that. Like too much,
Yeah.
like information overload for it's just like.
It's kind of hard to keep track of anything, and you're not too sure that you've absorbed really any of the language yourself, but you do have a sheet to refer back to.
I think while these two are learning giant or attempting to, I'm just gonna go for a little bit of an idle stroll around outside.
Okay, sure.
This is all.
Anywhere in particular you're going to?
Probably just around the area around the house. I wouldn't let the house go out of sight.
Sure.
I understand it's probably quite dark,
It is probably
so
quite
not too
dark,
far
yeah.
from the
There's a
house.
fire on the house, mate.
Yeah, you can see the faint glow. It's like that weird bluish tinge to night, and there's a lot of open space here. You can hear the wind is really picking up, and it's almost disconcerting how it howls and kind of bounces around the space that you're in. It doesn't pass through any trees, really. This is quite a wide open space, so the wind is really just kind of cutting against the top and lifting up flurries of snow. There is a faint kind of fog that does settle over it at nighttime, but the moons are up and they're bright and full. Do you have the actual prosthetics with you, or like the arcanoid parts?
Yeah, I suppose so.
They
Sure.
gave them to you.
You pull them out, you study them, and you can see etched into one of the metal panels of the wrist guard the initials TU.
I was wondering if that might have been what that was.
You stare at it for a while and you think you might have seen this particular script for these particular initials before. You flip it over, see if you can see any other marks or etchings. Doesn't seem like it. It seems like this was an early edition.
Was it scratched in by hand, or was it professionally stamped or embossed?
It looks like it was carved in by hand.
Right.
It's not rough by any means. It looks like whoever did this was very skilled.
And has it been used?
There are not much. Roll an investigation check.
Oh, I think that's a dirty 20. Let me just... Yes.
Sure, with a dirty 20. It looks like it's seen some use. There are some bits of the panels that seem to be chipped away at just a little bit. But it doesn't seem like it's been used for a very long time.
Okay.
And the leather that would have anchored it has been almost completely destroyed.
I'm going to turn around and head straight back to camp.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of like who I would ask.
Random thing if when time allows. I want to
Sure. Give you some time to think then as you're heading back. Pondering, thinking, where have I seen these two initials before? T and U. And Abelard, you wanted to do something as well?
Oh, fuck off.
Hi. More subtly this time, I was gonna go sit down next to Nardria. Hey. So, the weird severed hand with tattoos like yours.
I have no idea where that severed hand came from and what it was.
More just like the tattoos, like, do they mean something? Should we know something? Like the giant nosy nose I always nose in.
Fun fact, Abelard's nose is as big as the actual Plague Doctor mask. Because he's a nosy boy.
Whoa! That's why you wear the mask, 'cause it like grows every time you're nosy about something.
I must know.
It's not when
the
he
mask
lies.
will be out to here by the end of the campaign.
It's not when he lies, it's just when he wants to know.
Yeah.
Bin chicken mask.
Bin Abelard the bin chicken.
Abelard was foul in a past life. Bin chicken.
The last time I trusted you with information that was sensitive to myself, you told everyone without asking me.
Which one?
You don't even remember when?
Oh. Which one? There was the Fey one, but that was you didn't tell me that. I found that one out, and there was the other one where I forced you to tell me, which not great. But if
And
you don't
then
want to tell me,
you-
I'll go shuffle off again and go do research.
And then you told everyone an hour later about the other one.
Not going to tell
I
you.
think
Mum.
Chivoth being in Nadri's head is what they're referring to.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
Avalon thinks for a moment. When might I...
Nadra is insulted at the fact that this isn't even remembered.
You remember that they've been pretty cold since you kind of outed Chivoth as being in their head for a little while.
Now he wants to talk to all my friends, you know?
Didn't you both go in my head at some point?
Chivoth, that was like...
Was that before or after? I don't know.
After.
Okay. I'm
It
just
kind of happened sequentially.
I was like, I mean, if you don't want to tell me, I won't make you this time. Might be helpful.
You're so nice now. This is not a joke.
Learning from his mistakes.
I know,
He's a
right?
good bully.
It's almost like I'm not from this place.
I don't know.
I
social
don't
cues.
think being extra planar makes you not understand social cues if you grew up socially somewhere.
Do I get back from my little stroll at some stage at any
How about
stage?
shuffling away
that
again?
was-
Oh,
I would say so. Are you going to share anything with Abelard or?
I was gonna ask, if I share something with you again, will you completely tell everyone again, even though it wasn't a threat?
I will let you decide whether or not you want to share it with others.
Come
before doing
on!
that. I won't be the one to share it. That will be up to you, and when you are ready.
That's character growth.
I know.
Alright.
Now I'm just like staring at Abelard like, what the fuck? What is happening here? I can't sense anything, there's just a mask.
Staring blankly.
Staring at a mask. Well, you and your people from where you're from worship Luron. It's something similar to that.
Okay.
That's as much detail as I get.
Sure.
Changeling worship Chiva.
You know what?
They have it.
Great work. Proud of you, buddy.
From where Clash Shall work through Blue Run. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what you're saying to me. I'm like, oh, well, okay.
So mean. Okay. I will say that Abelard will just contently sit with
Be
that.
like, I've learned more things.
I
Each
have more
race worships
information.
one god. Only the one.
I have more information now. A9, you get back from your walk.
Everyone, sorry, I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
Nope.
What? I'll just go like, I'm just pointing to like, and that's the water. Wait, what? Yo, what's up?
Is it like the conspiracy board from, what is it, always?
Yeah. But if you put these two runes together, then they make the sun rune. Yo.
Kruger
Water
is
and waterfall
me.
make the sun ruin?
No. The and I ramble like, and then you walk in.
Are you approaching the whole group? Or just
Yeah, and I'm
anyone
gonna have
particular?
that one particular prosthetic with the engraving on it in my hand. Where have we seen this before? And I'm gonna show it towards the group.
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah, you're usually the one that remembers things.
What's
But-
up?
I've had one thought today, man.
Do we know anyone with a missing hand? That bomb guy sounds like he could have a missing hand.
Wolfric?
Yeah.
You've seen both his hands.
I know, but like.
It's been a few days.
And maybe he's missed one.
Damn. That makes no sense chronologically. He had both of his hands like 5 days ago, but a hand that's been in the ground for a year. Wow, crazy.
Oh, it's
Crazy how technology develops. It's so realistic.
Maybe he learned to time travel, guys. If someone was time traveling, I would believe Wolfric would be time traveling.
Wolfric is a cyborg.
Crazy motherfucker. What's up, A9?
You all study the T and the U.
TU. So is that like initials or something?
I mean, yeah, I assume so.
Is it like
Alright, let me.
Is
Tennis
it?
umpire.
I'll say Nadria and June,
Oh.
and actually Kruger as well. You guys can roll a history check. This is an extraordinarily high DC,
I don't think.
Awesome.
Who wants the
but
guidance?
you can
I'll
give it a
guidance
shot.
myself. I've got disadvantage
I-
as well,
Kruger
so it's
gets
pretty
the
nice.
guidance.
Thanks,
Wait,
fam.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know you.
Where's my D4? Give me my
Oh,
D4.
I still
was gonna say you
remember.
got my D4. You go first.
16 on my end.
Yeah, I love disadvantage.
Oh, because you're exhausted.
I am. I'm
Ah,
tired.
the first roll was really good.
What's that second?
It was a 19 and then it was a 7.
Oh damn, that was a 1.
No, not another one.
19.
Trade union.
Wait, 19, 22, 25.
TU doesn't really. I mean, it's kind of an obscure.
Let's just roll a fucking roll.
It's a really obscure thing to remember. Like a T and a U. It could be really anyone for Nadria and for June.
Tech support, but emphasis on the U in support.
So it's really.
Let me just click that tech support is not TU at all. Wow. Yeah,
But
Please
emphasis
call
on
this
the
line
you because
for
they're
your-
helping you.
For assistance with your A model.
What does Kruger think?
The Kruger, you take a look at it, and
Mm.
at first you're thinking T and U honestly could be for anything. But that being said, you think for a little while, and you seem to remember that there was a company once that was really, really famous for their work and their research on Arkanoids. And it was usually called TU Arms Company, but has kind of since fallen a bit to the wayside. Isn't as popular now to see with any developments for Arkanoids. Nobody's really sure exactly what happened to the particular individual that usually ran the that ran these experiments and that became really famous, and who TU Arms Company was named after. But you do remember that there was an individual called Turbot Umblebridge who used to run TU Arms Company, and you assume this might have been something that belonged to him, that he was maybe researching, testing out. You don't know a whole lot about it. It's not really your area of expertise, but sometimes in Tuddles there were particular shipments that would come in from a kind of an area with very sad history known as the Southern Valley, and they would often be leftover mechanical parts, scraps that have been found, and it's kind of it's around the Ashford Steps kind of area, in between like Sprockerot, Tuddles, kind of closer to the Crown World wilderness, and that kind of makes up the area of the Southern Valley. That's pretty much all you get,
Well,
even with a incredibly high.
I mean, that's a lot more than I thought I was going to get. What was
Yeah.
the name again? Sorry.
The Southern Valley.
No, the name of TU.
Turbot Umblebridge.
Turbot Umblebridge.
Yeah. There was a lot that was made about, like a lot of a big deal was made about him, a long, long time ago.
Like way before 10, 20, 100 years. Wouldn't know.
I mean, maybe even.
1,000.
Did we establish how old A9 was?
I don't think it's ever been.
I thought at one point we said 1,600. I might be just completely misremembering.
Possibly.
I mean, the procession of metal was when Turbot Umbridge was kind of at his high point,
Mm-hmm.
but that was a very, very long time ago. It was in another age of Cathoran history.
Would it be useful if I told you the number on the wiki?
Yes.
Sure.
Procession of Metal was an 892 AR.
Did
On
I
the-
write that?
Yeah, on the Arcanoids page.
The wiki coming in handy.
Let me get my timeline up because I think it's.
You fact checking your own law.
Yeah, I think it was actually. It started 832 maybe. So that was when Arcanoids were specifically created. Is that what you're saying, or is that specifically for the Procession of Metal?
The
'Cause I
first
think-
conceptualized and constructed Arcanoids.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing then. Obviously. Yeah, the Procession of Metal. Yes. So I was right. 833. So yeah, this is a really long time ago.
Turbot. I mean, it could mean Turbot. What's the name? Turbot.
Umbridge.
Turbot. Umble Bridge. That Turbot Umble Bridge. I think. TU. My sister told me about it once. It was something about during like the procession of metal.
A9 kind of goes blank for a second and is clearly very, very deep in thought.
Does that mean anything to you?
No answer.
A9. Oh shit! Did he turn off?
Shutting it up.
Yeah. No, but not responsive.
As A9.
And I relay all the info that I.
Yeah.
It's almost like complete shell shock.
As A9 has gone almost catatonic,
Uh-huh.
lost in thought, and Abelard and Nadria have shared a decent chat about what's been what's been happening with Chiba and
All changelings worship Shiva.
and Chiba's followers. I think that's a pretty good time for us to take our break. So, thank you guys so much for joining us for this first part. When we return, we are going to do some more travel, I'm assuming. And we'll
Yes.
see where we can go from here, what more fun things we can find, and maybe more stressful situations we can get into. What does it all mean? Turbot Umbridge? Why are there Cult of Chiva tattoos? I mean, what is the cult all about? Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Why is there a random tattoo as well of Garanthel, an ancient elvish civilization? Who knows, but we'll find out next time. So, once again, thank you guys so much for joining us. For everybody who is on Twitch, we will see you guys in just a little bit, but for everybody who's on YouTube, we will see you in the next part. Goodbye for now.
Bye.